Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the Spyderco reveal number 11. The Cold Steel 1917 Frontier Bowie finally makes it onto this frontier. And then we'll get to what's on your mind, basically open mic. I want to hear what's on your mind. What are you thinking about? What knives are you interested in? Are there any knife scandals out there? I know things are heating up with Hinderer and transparent knives. I want to talk and see what's on your mind. And then I also am going to show you in just a moment a really cool loaner from Hero Sticks. He just keeps sending me the coolest stuff. I really appreciate it. So we're going to get to all that in just a second. I'm sitting here. I'm sitting at a new table. I just got a new table that I'm sitting at here, and I just assembled it and just basically finished it mere moments ago. And I like the fact that I can lean on the table, bang on the table even angrily. And though we might get some sound reverberation, there's not going to be any shaking. So I'm very excited about that. I'm also excited about something we're going to be showing off in just a minute. And it's a pretty sweet one. Dave, how's it going? Happy Anything Goes Thursday Night Knives. Happy Thursday Night Knives to you, sir. Anything goes indeed. Christoph Wilhelm, how you doing, Christoph? Good evening, Bob. Happy Thursday Night Knives, everyone, he says. Good to see you, sir. We have the guys from Shredder Knife Reviews. I love the video you just put out. That was awesome. Hey, guys, say Ezekiel and Jonathan. Good to have you. Hey to you. I got a cool one here. Cool new fixed blade you guys will probably like. I know you're some of my fixed blade friends. 9198 David, good to have you here, sir. Hello, everyone, he says. Laughing, knives. Just so happy to be around knives. So am I. You know what? Jim has been pushing me as always, and he's pushing me to get another camera and another angle. I was trying to think of what that could be, and he's had a couple of cool suggestions. Also, I think it'd be cool to have a table view, because I just have all these cool knives around me on this table, and you can't see them, and sometimes I forget to bring them out. For instance, the 1917 Frontier Bowie. It's Bowie. Never Enough Knives 007. Good to have you here, sir. Good evening, junkies. Happiest of Thursday Night Knives to all. Well, happy Thursday Night Knives to you. I guess since Jim already let the cat out of the bag, and I'm so happy he did. Byron, how's it going? Howdy, Bob, Jim, junkies. Thursday Night Knives. I got nothing on my mind but some bourbon in a glass. Very nice. I like to hear that. Bourbon is my favorite. Look at this thing. All right, we'll get to this in a minute. This is the 1917 Frontier Bowie. And you know what? I got to find out. We have Jose Abdul Favela. How you doing, sir? He says Lynn Thompson Leatherneck Bowie coming soon. All right, so Jersey Knife Guy got one of those recently, and he's been showing it off on his last two videos, and I was trying to avoid that. I'm trying to come up with some reason. The only reason I've come up to avoid that knife is the grippy kind of rubberized handles. And then I'm like almost all of my Colts, except for this and maybe one other, my cold steel fixed blades all have that. That's no reason not to get that amazing 10-inch Bowie with the fullers. I mean, that's got some long, cool fullers on there. Aberdeen Blades, good to see you, sir. Hello, all. Happy Thursday, he says, with his cool coat of arms. Patina Turner, good to have you, sir. Your cool thing is on the wing. I believe your Palma Hawk. We'll get there shortly. Patina loaned me his Palma Hawk for quite a long time. It's a cool little hand axe he created, and sometimes time gets away from me, sir. Thank you, though, for the loaner. So greatly appreciated. I did keep the little, you said to keep the pry bar, so I kept the pry bar. Thank you. I will cherish it. It's in my knife case now. Will B, good to have you here, Will B. Evening, Bob and Jim. Oh, you know what? I just saw before we started rolling, we do have a new gentleman junkie, so I want to say honor him right now. Frequent contributor Jay McConnell. Sorry, Jim, I forgot to mention this to you, but I just saw it in an email. And for the Wednesday supplemental, we'll get a graphic and be official about it. But Jay McConnell, thank you so much for joining the Knife Junkie Patreon at the Gentleman Junkie level. That means you are in the running for the next knife drawing. Not sure what that's going to be, but no doubt it'll be something cool. Chris, good to have you here. Blade Ogre says, hello, all. So just to finish that last thought, Thank you, Jay McConnell. Greatly appreciated, sir. Nick Edie Sear, good to have you here, Nick. Hey, Bob, Jim, and knife personnel alike. Lots of knife personnel. Oh, God, that's good. Jose says, good day to all my fellow knifeaholics. Well, good day to you. That's funny you should say that because I was just wearing yesterday a knifeaholic t-shirt. My wife just gets me cool t-shirts. This is another one. She just gets me t-shirts, lots of them. And this one has crossed knives and it says knifeaholic. So I too am one, sir. Mark Ridgewell, good to have you here, Mark. Hey, Bob and fellas, he says. Well, Mark, it's always a pleasure. Steel Ovan, likewise. Salutations, fellows, he says. Salutations right back at you. Steve-O Taylor. Steve-O, I think this might be the first time you've commented. Steve-O, it's good to have you here. I have a good buddy at work that I call Steve-O. Friday in Australia. You are in the future. We are being contacted from the future, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all is well down in Australia. My sister just came back from Australia. She was there within the year and loved it. She goes places to take pictures, photography. She's a great photographer, and she loved Australia. Will B says, Bob, I love this ST110. The D10 is better than my Benchmade. Wait. The ST110. Are you talking about, what is the ST110? Oh, Will, of course. Yes, that thing is amazing. Actually, that's the Will just won last week, the Sativian ST110. Sorry, little senior moment there. That thing, I highly recommend it, people. If you are in the market for an inexpensive Chinese-made knife with a superior axis lock, I mean, am I wrong in saying that? It is superior. It is awesome. Their axis lock is awesome. I don't know how they did it for $27. Well, the clip is kind of cheesy and the micarta doesn't match, but still pretty good. Mr. Jake, Mr. King Snake Jake, good evening, Mr. DeMarco. He says, hello all. Well, good to have you here, King Snake. Patina says, that wasn't me, Bob. Oh my God, I always do that. I am such a, that's so funny, man. I always do that. I did that last time. Patina, my apologies. Yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, I think I'm ready for a pocket check. Now, I have a couple of things here that I wish I were carrying today, but I wasn't. I just was showing you that Frontier Bowie. That thing is something else and would no doubt make a pretty incredible daily carry. At one time, that kind of thing was necessary. Thank the heavens that we don't need to carry something like a Bowie knife anymore, but it's still nice to know that we can have them. And actually, in the state where I am, we can actually walk around with them out in the open. As a matter of fact, that is the only way that you can do that. So I don't know. Well, let's see about that. Okay, people, I am trying to deal with a computer glitch here, and give me a moment. I need to mute my audio because I'm getting this wicked echo. There we go. So sorry. Okay, my pocket check. I ruined that really cool intro that Jim made, so I'm just going to get right to it. Today, I had the Spartan Harzy folder in my pocket. I had this is one that I put in my pocket. This is going to sound strange. This is actually an emotional support knife. I always talk about emotional support knives being things that you just fidget with to take up excess energy, kind of like a worry stone. But actually, this is a knife I carry. One of the few knives that I will put in my pocket without fail when I'm doing something that feels important and I want to, I know it sounds corny, but I want something in my pocket that's going to make me feel confident. And this one with my logo on it and Spartan Harzy always does. And today I did an interview with the great and powerful Daniel Winkler. And so I wanted this in my pocket when I did that, just because this is a great knife. I had an awesome conversation with him. He is such a cool guy. Please check that out on Sunday. Interview with Daniel Winkler there. I let it out of the bag, but what a cool guy, and what a great conversation we had. So this is what I was carrying. I used it to open up the giant box that this new table came in. And I got to admit, it did not do a great job cutting through the straps. There were these big heavy duty straps around there, and this knife is sharp, but the geometry is so oblique, and I keep threatening, or keep saying I want to have BGM grind it, do a regrind. And I just saw the BGM hollow regrind that Jared Neve had done on his, and boy, I'm sold, especially after today. I mean, this worked, but I was expecting it to just make short work of the shipping straps, and really it was more of a struggle than it needed to be. And yes, it is sharp. It's very sharp. So maybe the edge isn't toothy enough. Maybe it wasn't catching. It's hard for me to tell if it was that or the geometry. I think maybe the edge was too toothy, or was not toothy enough to grab. So anyway, Spartan Harzy folder for confidence, emotional support, and cutting straps. Hey, James Moore, good to have you here, sir. Howdy all. Sorry, Bob, I'm at work with no knife in hand. Well, you got to do what you got to do to get those knives. So, get back to me if you can. I know you're at work, but get back to me with what you're going to be putting in your pocket when you get home, because we all know that that's going to happen. You're going to go home. You're going to go to your knife cabinet. You're going to find the one that you've been thinking about carrying all day, and you're going to pop that in your pocket. What's that going to be? Dave says the best strap knife is a serrated one. Yeah, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. Or a hawkbill or something. I was holding the knife like this and pulling towards me, which is usually a pretty good way of cutting a strap. And it slipped off a couple of times, honestly. So I do know that if I were using, say, this with the recurve and pulling back on it, first of all, it's got a thinner hollow ground geometry behind the edge, and it's a thinner edge, and it's got that recurve. So this would probably do better. But yeah, serrated, no doubt. I should have brought one of my cold steels out, because I love those serrations. But I also love the Spyderco serrations. Okay, so the Spartan Harzy. I also had this, which I've been carrying so much. Did I clean it? Yeah, I just cleaned it. Jack Wolf knives, Benny's clip. I know you're all getting tired of hearing it, but I carry it all the time, and I love this thing. This also probably would have done better on the straps, to be honest with you, because it's so thin and sharp, and it still does have a little bit of a recurve. And that is, over time to be sharpened out, as that forward portion is used more and more sharpening is focused in that area. I like that convention, and it's something you see in traditional knives. So I carried that in the pocket slip, which I thought I lost, but I knew it had to be in this room somewhere. So I just I looked under everything a second time, and I found it. Yep, a second time. As my wife says, just because it's not right in front of you doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And that's got straight from the refrigerator. We don't have any ketchup. How am I supposed to get you ketchup when we don't have? Here it is. It's behind the orange juice. Just because it's not right in front of your face doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Does anyone else ever hear that? I'm curious. Last up, this was I brought this for emotional support and for fun. This is the Tactical Elite Conqueror. This is a big knife. This a 4.75 inch blade on a really excellent and quite addicting action. It's sort of like in the way you actuate it. It's a bit like an axis lock on its turned perpendicularly, but really the thing that's happening is a backstrap is being lifted up out of, it's really hard to see, out of a little notch in the tang, and it's kind of scorpion lock-ish in there. I'm gonna have to take this apart and really show it off. I have an intuitive sense of what it is from what I can see from up top, and it's pretty good. But in any case, I've been carrying this in my bag, and then where's the other one? This ugly little charmer. These are both really good knives. This is the Parallax, and these are both very inexpensive. So excellent for what you're spending. I believe these are both in the 30s. And again, awesome action. This one has D2. This one is 8CR13 MOV. These were sent to me by Master Cutlery, an umbrella company that owns a bunch of budget line knives, who are kind of reinvigorating themselves and starting a push to get a knife in every pocket, so to speak. Those are my words, not theirs, but that's kind of what their idea is. You can see it better here. See that bar going down into the notch behind the blade, and then when you lift this up, that lever lifts up and lifts that bar out of the blade. So it's like a pin. This is one that I've been carrying a lot around the house and using just to try out. It's got a pretty comfortable handle. It's got a weird, ugly but useful blade. I think that blade is ugly, but still appealing in a weird way. Sometimes ugly can be appealing in this day and age. Really addictive action, and it makes a great sound. Well, I didn't have this on me, but I have been carrying this and using it. Unfortunately, the grind on this one is not very good. The edge. So I've been just kind of checking out the factory edge. I'll put my own edge on it, and this thing will be awesome because it is ground nice and thin behind the edge. It's just the edge. The guy who ground it was not paying much attention and didn't seem to care that much. But once that edge is rectified, I think this is a great and inexpensive option for a hard use knife. This is a pretty good hard use knife. I did cut myself with it right there. That is not dirt under my fingernail. That's blood. It was a weird and awkward cut because this is not a very sharp knife, unfortunately. This one, same company, very nice edge on this one. The guy was paying attention and seemed to care. So that's what I had on me today. I had the Elite Tactical Conqueror, a large and fun flipper, Kubi carve, and hang on one sec. Let me do this first. The Jack Wolf knives, Benny's clip, and the Spartan Harzy. So the guys at Shredder were carrying the Kubi carve. That's cool, and the Tops Operator 7 today. That's a great combo. The Operator 7 is a big knife too. I mean, a fat knife, right? That's like 5/16 of an inch. Is that right? It's really big. And by big, I mean wide blade stock, or thick blade stock. Let's see what Blade Ogre had. He always has a nice panoply. Is that the right word? Panoply of weaponry, of tools and knives on him. But a panoply is usually used for weapons, I think, that term. Anyway, carrying the Best Tech Texel. I think that's a sheep's-foot or a Warncliffe. Benchmade tagged out, very cool. I want to get one of those. Benchmade Adamas, Burgundy micarta, very cool. I want to get one of those, especially in Burgundy micarta. Medford Praetorian Swift, that's the switchblade version. The ASK, that's the Medford sort of Swiss Army knife, the American service knife. Jack Wolf Benny's clip, black micarta, just like mine. The Manly Wasp, a Bulgarian company, right? Bulgaria, that started hot and heavy in the States, and people are digging them, and then they kind of went away. You can still get their stuff, but I think you have to get them through European websites. I think that's right. And the Bark River JX6 in Magna Cut, and that is that's the knife designed by Prepared Mind 101. Okay, so this is the Textile, the tagged out, the Adamas, the Praetorian, the ASK, the Jack Wolf, the Manly, and the Bark River. That's 8 knives, man. That is a respectable showing. Now, from what I've heard, Blade Ogre is what he's told me. He's a fan of the overalls, right? And so there's lots of pockets. So there you go. Mike Flamian, good to see you here, Mike. Folder was the Shirogorov Quantum Gen 2 CD and the others. CD and the others. Shirogorov, Mike Flamian, good choice. I need to get me one. I've always liked the F93. Is that what it's called? F95 with the micarta inlays. That is a sweet knife. Will be Grimsmo Norseman, which I can now say without any hesitation is an outstandingly amazing knife worth every ounce of hype. The Concept Preta 2 Titanium Tanto. Very nice choice, sir. The Begleiter XL. Got one of those right here. The Civivi Chevalier. The Citivian ST110. The Olight Baton 3. The Streamlight Macro Stream. And Everyman Grafton pen. I need to check out the pen. I do like pens. I am a bit of a pen guy. The lights, have always been difficult for me to get into, though I'm going to get a new one that I just saw on Tactical Tavern. I like that guy a lot. He's cool. And then, man, what a nice rounded carry. Now you have two Tantos on you, but one is so extremely recurved and different than the other that I will allow it. I know you're relieved. And then it's good that you have the sheep foot covered and you have the drop foot covered. You have, or drop foot, the drop point. You have it all covered, man. Nicely done. Patina, I am carrying the ZT0462, and they just came out with with new to me burlap micarta scales made by good buddy Bill. Awesome. It's beautiful. Love it. The 0462 is the 0462. Which one is that? Is that the one with the 0640? That's the Emerson design after the Raven 5. Oh my God, I'm all turned around now. Not Raven, but sorry, which one are you talking about? Please describe. I'm having another one of those moments. Dwayne Letterman, good to have you here, Dwayne. The Cold Steel Engage today. Okay. Cold Steel Engage. This is the 900-pound gorilla in the room for me personally, because it is a new and acclaimed cold steel that all the trusted voices that I like to hear like a knife, like this thing, but I am not moved to get it, even though it has a cool looking blade, and I'm not sure what it is. Should I get this damn knife? Let me know. Shane Gables, how you doing, sir? Spyderco Yo Jumbo, one of my favorites, and the Hogue Deca, also a beauty, though I don't have it. I would really like the one with that really cool stepped Wharncliffe blade. Okay. All right. The 0462. This is the one I thought. The Sinkovich. I used to have that knife. I sold it, but I know that they just came out with a black version of it, a black washed with a black washed titanium side also, but I'm not sure who that's coming out with. If that's just exclusive to ZT and everyone is going to be selling that, or if that is dealer exclusive. Guys at Shredder say all day long, apparently as a man, I'm incapable of finding items in the fridge. It's genetic. I think you're right, man. I think it's all part of our build, you know. What did my mom used to say? Oh, my mom's line was simply, men don't look behind things. That was just her line. Blanket statement. You could say it about anything, but mostly it got said about the refrigerator. Byron says, today was the Cold Steel Recon 1. Such a nice one. You've got the drop point, I believe, or that's the one you like to carry in 4-inch, I think. And the off-grid all-day Necker tonight, Concept Shikari. That is a beautiful knife, the Shikari. I love the Recon 1. The only Recon 1s I have left are my two, XLs. Yeah. But I periodically regret getting rid of. Oh, that's not true. Okay, in my carry bag, I do have a drop a clip point. Steel Ovan. Carried the Utilizer 2.0, the Leatherman Wave, the Maximet Para 3, and my EDC Warney fixed blade. Love the sound of your ED Warney fixed blade. Can't wait to see that. What is the Utilizer 2.0? That's kind of a funny name, right? Professor EDC, good to have you here, sir. Evening, gents. Hope all is doing well. What's up? Well, I don't know, but I do know that in your recent video, the thumbnail with the jigged bone handled fixed blade was amazing. Let me show you guys something. Here's Jay. There we go. Jay McConnell. Good to have you here, Jay. If you're just showing up, we just mentioned you and said thank you for becoming a gentleman junkie. It's very much appreciated. We'll do more of an official send off or send up on Wednesday for the midweek supplemental. But Jay, thank you so much for becoming a gentleman junkie. It's greatly appreciated. Jay says, this week I've been carrying the KnifeWorks Sprint Run Ritter Hogue 63 to 64 HRC Magna Cut and carbon fiber. Ooh. So that's a much sought after, probably the most sought after version of that knife. So good. Should have tried Ritter sooner. Also, the Benny's clip in green micarta. Ooh, nice. So that one, they only did a very limited run of the Magna Cut, and as Doug Ritter said on last time he was on the show, he's not sure if they're going to do it again. So you scored a nice one. Dave says, carried the new one today. I'm sorry, carrying a few new ones today. And this first one is beautiful. The Reich 1902 M390 and red, black, gray shred carbon fiber inlaid, right? Oh, it's beautiful. Kaiser Megatherium, cool knife. That's a Elijah Isham design, and the concept Nazca Tanto. Interesting to me that in a very short period of time, two companies have come out with a knife called Nazca. I know the other one is Giant Mouse, and it's a different spelling, and it's like the Nazca lines in Peru. But what's the Nazca Tanto? But very similar, especially from two sort of leading companies in the same model year. Very nice carry, Dave, as always. Christopher Wilhelm says, Benchmade Tanto Griptilian. Nice. Oh, wearing AWT, that's Advanced Weapons Technology. Dimpling, right? Advanced. Dimple scales and Emerson DC clip. I do like an Emerson clip on the on a Benchmade. PF Mini Blue. Oh, Petrified Fish. And what's the Dragonfish? BFB Dragonfish. Olight Warrior Mini. BFB Dragonfish. What is that? Interesting. But I love the sound of the Benchmade Tanto grip. Now, I'm not crazy about the Tanto grip blade shape, just to my eye, but it's a rare bird, so it's cool to hear in any case. I've had, and I like the AWT scales I have on my Griptilian. I've had Griptilians on my mind recently, just the sheep's foot hollow ground with the round circular thumb hole. Now, they don't make the hollow ground version of that anymore, and I think you might have to go to their website just to get the sheep's foot with the Spidey hole, but I want to get that knife in full size. Professor EDC carried my CKF Evo 2. Such a luxurious yet robust knife. Jack Wolf Knives Canine Jack. Such a good one. They're all so good. And he came out so fast with them. And now I feel like I have my little wolf pack. I know that's corny and everyone says that, but now I'm kind of like getting to know them versus one another, getting to know them and what the benefits are of each one as opposed to other ones or the other ones in that line. Byron Kennedy says, Shredder knife reviews, I don't think it's genetic. Not when the lunch meat, pickles, and cheese are back at the bottom of the drawer. Yeah, and the tofu, almond milk, and yogurt. Yeah, exactly. Well said, Byron. Exactly. Let's see. I've heard Jordan Peterson say that we see all objects as either tools or obstacles. It's either going to help us get what we want or it's just in the way. And the tofu is just in the way. Blade Ogre says, Manly can now be bought on Boker and Amazon. Oh, cool. Chris, did you see the interview with Boca? Not overalls, 511 tactical pants. Okay, that's what I wear. I love those things, man. And I've just in my old age discovered stretch fibers, and I love stretch fibers. I'm wearing stretch jeans right now, so I can kick you in the head if I need to. All right, let me show you this. I don't need to because I have this. I was carrying this today. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, look at this thing. I don't know if I've shown this off recently, but it deserves a look-see. right before we started rolling, it caught my eye. This has been on the wall for a long time, and sometimes I just forget about it. And my brother made it for me. He's a master craftsman with leather, or at least I say he is, because he made me this. And it's my very own Conan the Barbarian pit fighting gauntlet for the left hand, so I can carry a sword or tomahawk, in the right hand like this, for when the occasion arises. And this up here is an SKS bayonet, so swivel down underneath an SKS. My brother mounted it to a beautiful. Now it's not just effective, but it's actually quite beautiful. I'm going to put this under the cam for a second, the knife cam. So if you can see, full, like, really stout leather, and then he's got a I don't know, some sort of extra hide on there, and then spikes. And I mean, this thing is pretty heavy. And then spikes up front. Look at that thing. And then this SKS bayonet protruding through, all riveted and water formed. And then you flip it over, and the inside has really soft shearling wool lining it. So it's like actually very comfortable to put on. And your arm slides through this cuff, this thick leather cuff, and then it battens down with these two stout leather belts. And then you grip, and you see that he wove the leather together around the handle, and then, like a push dagger, the SKS bayonet goes between your fingers here and mounts into the handle. So this thing is very well considered. It took him a long time to make this, but this all started when he's like, Bob, I'm just now getting into leather work, and and I know I've taken, and I gave him several orders for sheaths, and he started making sheaths. And he's like, I want to do jewelry. Do you want to do you want like a cuff? And I was like, yeah. At the time, I was young and cool, and I wore a leather cuff around my wrist. And I was like, yeah, make me a leather cuff. And the leather cuff evolved into this. It was it was going to be a simple little everyday leather cuff I was going to have, and it turned into this. And that's the love of a brother, Well, maybe the cuff, could have a rivet or two on it, just in case. And then it spiraled out of control. So pit fighting gauntlet, though not part of my EDC, it's a valuable addition to the collection, and something that I sometimes just overlook. So here you go, guys. Special look at the Vic DeMarco pit fighting gauntlet. Thank you, Vito. Never enough knives. Today's blades were the BGM Quaken. What an awesome knife, man. That guy knows how to grind a cutting edge. Offensive Industries Fenrir. Two Fenrirs I can think of now. Offensive Industries and whatchamacallit, Damn Designs. Off-Grid Rhino V2. I love that knife. And the Swiss Army knife Tinker, which is probably, I think the Tinker is the one to get if you're getting someone a Swiss Army knife and you're not sure if they have one, or if you need an extra one to throw in your bag. Tinker's the way to go. 9198 David says, carried my Spyderco K2. Oh, okay. I know which one that is. That's the big upswept, the big broad upswept one. The Grimsmo Norseman. Wow. The Terrain 365 STS AT titanium. I love that thing. And the Kubi Carve. My God, David. Very nice. Very nice carry. Such class. The 0462 is the Sinkovich Persian. Yes. I love Sinkovich. I love his designs. I'd love to have a custom Sinkovich. How cool would that be? Have you ever seen his wine key? Oh my God. Makes me want to start drinking wine again. Ket McNessard says, good evening all. Or I put the good there. He just said, evening all. Good evening, Ketmuk. Listening while traveling up to Wisconsin to do some scouting and deer hunting prep this weekend. Ooh, that sounds fun. Carrying the JWK Jackwolf knives, Benny's Clip, the 940, and the Bear Forest Knives GT3. That sounds good. So you're not going out tonight, are you? You don't go out in the woods at night, do you? I mean, to me, that is very scary. That is very scary. I know I like to fill my head up with scary stories. and listen to people's scary encounters with things in the woods. But we have a park where it's pretty wooded, even though I'm in suburbia here. And every once in a while I'll go there at night or very early in the morning with the dog. And damn it, it's different in the dark. The woods are different in the dark. They're scary. Okay, Dwayne says, loving my Engage so far. So the Engage, I know when they announced it, last year, they had a large and a 3.5 inch, and then like a 3 inch or a 3.125. I don't think they've come out with the second one. Am I correct in that? Has anyone can anyone confirm that? I just heard the ZT discontinued the Emerson Collab 0640 today. One of my favorite knives. Well, that was stupid of them. You know what? They just came out with it. They're rehashing old designs by putting out Sinkovich in black and years after the fact. And then what did they just do before? They put something else out in black, or they changed it. That's what it was. It was the 0640. That is one of their big sellers. The 0640, everyone loves that because it's the closest thing zero tolerance makes to something like a Sebenza or something like a Spartan Harzy. It's a bad idea to do. I think ZT is, what are they, phasing them out? I don't know. Christoph Wilhelm says utilizer is Spectrum Energetics folding razor knife. Oh, wow, that's cool. Spectrum Energetics folding razor knife. I just like the sound of that. The utilizer. I know we've talked about that here because the name just keeps coming up in my mind. Javier Villalobos 7. Good to have you here, Javier. Carried my Yojumbo Blackout as a comfort knife. Very nice. And the River's Edge Cutlery Ember 2.5 in Magna Cut. Somehow the Yojumbo makes me feel safe. Somehow. I don't know why. It's curious. Yeah, because of that big, giant Warncliffe blade. Makes you feel like a Viking, modern day Viking. Dan Satermo, good to have you here, Dan. I was also lucky enough to get one of the Ritter Magna Cut carbon fiber. Nice score. I really thought I missed out, but KnifeWorks called me and asked if I was still interested. Well, heck yes. That's the answer. Check this out. I'm always talking about Hero Sticks, but he's always given me reason to talk about him. This is another knife he sent me to check out. This is the Brian Brown Chuck. And you saw a couple of Brian Brown knives right here on the channel. After he was on the show for an interview, he sent me a couple of knives to check out. And this is totally fits in his style. All right. Look at that. Look at that beautiful razor style blade. Really thinly hollow ground. Very, very, very screaming sharp. I like to look at it from this aspect. It's so cool. It really looks like a classic razor blade. I'm not a big fan of the ring, but I know it's there to help you extract it, especially if you're wearing it as a neck knife or if you have it in the pocket. But it's definitely not a usable ring in a grip. Maybe, I can fit my hand in there, but if you're going to use the ring at the end of a handle in any sort of grip, and it's not off center, canted off to naturally accommodate the placement of your finger, like this is right on top. So that's not there for you to put your finger into, unless you're doing this and it's a stabbing type ring dagger. That's what that's for on a ring dagger, not for flipping it around. You can flip it around, but it's not like a karambit that you're using to flip around and manipulate in that way. It's for surety of grip. And in this case, I think it's more because of its size and the fact that it's probably going to be used as a neck knife or a drop in the pocket knife. That ring is there just to retrieve it. But I really like this little critter. It's got really nice jimping, feels really good in the hand. This is what I usually do with rings anyway, is just grab them. A ring is just a widening at the pommel, and that's always handy. So there you go. You got that. This would make an awesome little EDC fixed blade. Yeah, I like this thing a lot. Thank you, Hero. I'm going to do a close-up video on this and several others that he sent. But over the next few weeks, I'm just going to show them off here also. Look at that. Brian Brown is a very nice person, very smart guy, and I dig his knives. I love the look of that razor shape, you know. Jose Abdul Favela says, carry 2 clip point Demcos. Okay, carry 2 clip point Demco 3V 20.5s, textured and smooth titanium versions. Okay, you are a junkie. That's what that is. You are a knife junkie, sir. And the Gray Tie Mini Buster. Oh, that's a cool knife too. And 20 CV. Knife jewelry. Yes, absolutely, Jose. Knife jewelry. But I'm fascinated by the double clip point titanium Demco 20.5s, texture and non-textured. That is like, ordinarily I'd say that is vastly against the rules for many reasons, but it's so audaciously against the rules. It feels like a grouped pair. Like that's just, but it's part of the deal. They come together. So like butterfly knives. Very nice. Very nicely done. Christoph says the Tonto blade grip profile is brutally strong. Yeah, with the straight edge. It's got the arced top, right? And the 2 straight edges. Keeps on ticking. BFB blunt force blades. Don't know blunt force blades, but I was going to say I like the name, but actually I don't. I don't like the name because blunt force to me is more like sticks and hammers and the bludgeons. And I never like to hear blunt in relation to a knife, but BFB blades. I mean, I'm sure they're awesome. So I got to actually check. I'm going to check them out afterward here, or maybe Jim could look them up. But blunt force blades, interesting. All right, I got to think about that because, and the reason I'm talking about this is something I've been thinking about for weeks now. Is this using the swedge in fighting on a Bowie knife, and how it's even useful for an unsharpened swedge to break the bone. Come on down and break the bone, but also you get the tip gash. So blunt force, it just makes me think of using the spine, which is something I've been thinking about as a legitimate knife fighting tactic because who knows? Oh, that's cool. You might not want to be chopping someone. You might want to just break their hand and so interesting. Blunt. Sorry, I forgot to say hi, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Well, hi to you, Dan. Oh, that one in the middle with the black handle. Jim, can we see that one? Look at that. That is sweet. I like that. So this is blunt force blades, huh? Okay. I like that. That is cool, man. That handle is sweet. The blade looks very nice. Oh, just wait for the next Jack Wolf Knives reveal. Wait a second. But that's good. That's a little while off. Is it not, Professor? I thought that he was doing 6 months, like one for 6 months each month, and then regrouping or cooling his heels. Is that true, or is there another one coming? And I think I know which one it is, if it is. Christoph Wilhelm says, I use the glove for shish kebabs. I'd use that glove for shish kebabs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you just skewer the meat on there and have your blowtorch. Byron Kennedy says, I've had to attend a few parent-teacher conferences. I wish I'd worn that beauty. I hear you, man. On the whole, I've liked all of my daughter's teachers, but last year, my older daughter had someone that she just seemed to hate kids. She just seemed to not want to be a teacher. Your brother did awesome, say Jonathan Ezekiel. I will thank you on his behalf. He's just a great guy, period. And does everything that he sets out to do. He does it at 110%. I've always admired that about him, so I asked for we starts off as a leather cuff, and that's what we get. but also, I mean, he's a great craftsman. Professor EDC says Bob never made it past Mad Max, the original Mel Gibson. That's right. That's right. Maybe a double barrel sawed off shotgun on my hip would be a good style. It'd go with the Bowie knives and stuff, you know. I like guns. I like guns for their, well, they're fun to shoot and they have an aesthetic appeal, and I like the mechanisms and the machining. But there's nothing like a knife, and there's nothing like a shotgun. So a double barrel shotgun on one leg and a knife on the other. All right, it's settled. Leather pants too. My wife has approved the buying of leather pants, though I don't see it happening. Concept also has a Fenrir, I believe. Fenrir. Okay, so Fenrir is Odin's wolf, right? Isn't that Odin's wolf? The Fenrir. Mr. VC256. Have a nice one. Checking in late today. Haven't decided my carry for today, but I feel a little auto today. I like how you're thinking. Mr. VC256, good to have you here, sir. Here's my little auto for the day. Actually, I carried this yesterday, but I got it, carried it hot and heavy for the month of July, and put it away and forgot all about it. I mean, I saw it, but I heard it yesterday. I hear you. And I pulled it out and carried it. And man, this thing is awesome. You can hear it reverberate through the table if I put my elbow. Lots of power in these knives. Byron Kennedy says, Bob, please put on Vinny's mitt and go have a talk with ZT. Yeah, Vinny. I will. It's it's Vic, and I call him Vito, but Vinny's cool too. Hey, Vinny, let's go talk to the guys up at ZT. FEMA Camp Etiquette for Dummies. Good to have you here. I still love your name. Does the leather gauntlet glove take lock mags? Yes, indeed, man. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea to convert the grip to take a 9mm magazine. Dave said, like what you said about the ring on the fixed blades that aren't offset. Oh, like what you said. Yeah. Just reviewed the T-Kel Nightshade 2.5-inch. That's a triple edge, right? Is that right? Or a double-edged warranty. This is a double-edged warranty, the little one, and felt that its best use is for withdrawing the blade from the Kydex. Okay. So it also has the ring kind of in the same spot then, huh? Yeah. The ring thing, the thing that I said about, I don't have it down here, about the ring dagger is something that I saw from Lynn Thompson, because they do the ring dagger. They used to do the drop forged ring dagger, and then they have it also in the plastic, and that's what he said the ring was for. He said it's for putting your thumb through and gripping it like this, so you get like extra power in your, Lynn Thompson, extra power in your skull plunge or whatever you're doing. That's what that ring is for. But yeah, I could see on that little T-Kel, that is a cool looking one. I like that little knife. Looks cool, but I could see how that would be useful to have a ring just to pull it out. Weston Probst, good to have you here, Weston. Weston, what is that statue of? Is that someone playing violin, or is that a baseball player? Let me know what that is, Weston. Professor EDC, correct. What was I correct about? It's so rare that I hear that. I should have remembered. It'll come to me in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Fenrir. On the Bowie, use the swedge or the blunt spine in a Wittek back wrist roll, and the encounter the hand or forearm of an opponent. So he's saying a Wittek like this, like a flick. Yeah. Right there on the forearm, Wittek, or on the face. Bam. You can, they also, the Bowie knife fighters do something that's kind of like a I can't remember what that's called. Dave would remember, or Dave would know, where you're coming in this way, and right as you're right here, you're flipping it over. And in the Bowie knife fighting case, you're grabbing with the swedge as you come back for some other attack. But that you do that with sticks in Kali, where you come and you turn around. It's sort of a whipping thing. Can't remember any of the terminology anymore, or much of it. Robert Douglas, good to see you here, Robert. New to your channel, thought I'd check you out. Well, good to have you here, Robert. We're having a open mic night tonight. Usually I have a topic of conversation, but tonight we're just taking a look at some knives and waxing knife. Stan Musial in front of Busch Stadium. Okay. I am not the biggest professional lacrosse knower or knowledgeist, so I'm not sure of who this Stanley is. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know anything about baseball. But that's cool. I can never tell if that's someone playing the violin or someone holding the baseball bat. I know how to play it. I know the rules. But I also know I don't like to watch it unless I'm at the stadium. So that's, I'm a non-baseball fan, I guess you would say. Though I respect the institution. It's American pastime. All right, so what's on your mind tonight? Let me know. And as we do, I'm just gonna let you know I have all Bowies on the table again today. It is what's on my mind, I guess, lately. That, but also the gauntlet. So today, as I mentioned, I talked with Daniel Winkler. Please check that out on Sunday. It is so cool. So he did the knives. I mean, besides making knives that are amazing, that are loved by the Navy SEALs, especially. They love his stuff, his tomahawks and his knives. But he's also done a lot of stuff with Hollywood, like Zero Dark 30 and Last of the Mohicans, due to his knowledge in early frontier weaponry and stuff. He's such a cool guy. I had such a great time talking with him. So please be sure to check that out on Sunday. Mr. Fileto last year loaned me the Survival Striker from Winkler Knives, and I loved that thing. That thing is amazing. So got to be sure to check that out. Now, I'm thinking after doing that interview that I would like to get one of his knives. One of his tomahawks would be even more amazing, like the tomahawks they use in Terminalist, the cross tomahawks that you see. Though there is a waiting period now of 9 months or so to get one of those things because of that show. But anyway, be sure to check it out if you like awesome knife makers and very cool knives. All right, so let's bust out this sucker right here. Kevin Moore, hello, good knife junkies. I am once again humbled to be in the company of the finest folks that have a love for all things pointy and sharp. Kevin, every time you make me blush, sir. Happy pre-Hawaiian Shirt Friday, Kevin Moore. Here's to you, sir. Oh man, I'm having issues with this stupid camera tonight, man. So I have a whole new setup. I think I told you, whole new setup here. And if I come anywhere near now I'm going to have to figure out how to reset the whole thing for the next show. Because if I come anywhere near a certain connection, which I guess I just keep doing, it's gonna flake on me. So I'm gonna reset this right on the fly. Check this out. I'm getting better at it. Boom. And let me show you this. 1917 Frontier Bowie. Oh yeah, from Cold Steel. So this was one I was avoiding for a while because when it came out, I was not really in a fixed blade buying phase. And I also learned that it was not made in America by Cold Steel. And I knew this. I know that they have been making stuff in Taiwan for a long time, and that was not the issue. It was that I found out that it was from windlass. No, I found out that it was from India, and I thought, oh, India, so close to Pakistan. And that was a stupid thing to think. I am just not one who is crazy about Pakistan knives. But India is an entirely different nation with an entirely different culture and an entirely different knife culture. And I should have taken that into account. And then I found out it was made by Windlass Blade Crafts, and their stuff is awesome. They make historical reproductions of swords and ethnographic weapons from across the earth and across time, and they're pretty sweet. So I bought this, and it's pretty tremendous and pretty inexpensive, I gotta say, for what you're getting. It's like a 12.5-inch blade, right? Let's see. I said like because I didn't know. It is a 12.25-inch blade, big blade, with two nice deep fullers on both sides that actually lighten and balance out the blade really well. I mean, for a 12-inch blade, it's balanced maybe an inch forward of the guard, which keeps the blade and the point lively in hand and able to move, but it keeps a lot of the weight towards the back as well. So you're not struggling to get that point where you need it to go. Now that is pointy stabby. Yeah, it is, man. It really is. Unlike a number of cold steel knives like the Trailmaster and the Laredo and the Natchez Bowies, this one does not have a 0 ground swedge, so it's not sharp. I love the way Cold Steel does Bowies, says Weston. I do too, man. Look at that. I like the very slightly curved spine. Uh, this has some qualities in the long, slender clip point and the slightly curved spine. Carries some similarities with the Natchez Bowie, one that I've been jonesing for, but I'm just not paying, $400 for a 3V version of that knife. So I've been looking on the secondary market, trying to find, just lurking around, keeping my eyes peeled. I want an old Natchez. I would love to get one with the old black leather sheath, but I bet that's really hard to find. Will B says, I have a kukri from Windlass. Pretty good. Okay. All right. I've read that their swords are good, but I'm not sure if that's coming from someone who knows swords or if it's someone who just does reenactments or that kind of thing. Have a nice day. How you doing? She's thick, Junkie. Have a nice day. It's good to have you here, sir. I've been watching a lot of your videos lately. Love your tiger sharks. I love the tiger shark with the VEF serrations. I just love the tiger shark in general. So thank you for alerting me to onlysog.com. I there are a couple of older SOGs with the leather stacked handles, the fixed blades that I really want, and was recently lamenting the fact that I never got any of those. So I'm thrilled to know that exists. I just haven't emailed to find out how much any of that stuff costs. That kind of sucks that they're not listed there. Weston says, sad day, had a couple of knives stolen out of my truck. The Schrade SCH 52 and the Cold Steel Bushman. Also a Gerber hatchet I've had for 25 years. Oh, Weston, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. That sucks. All we can do is hope that the people fall on those knives and not die, but get some sort of reminder that that's a bad thing to do. I'm really sorry to hear that. That sucks. I had my Cold Steel Recon 1 Tonto and one of two great leather gloves among a bunch of other crap stolen from my car right in my freaking driveway, probably about 8 years ago at this point. So I feel your pain. That sucks. Thank you. Appreciate that. Says, have a nice day. Well, of course. Well, thank you for the content. I've been on a SOG purchase bender lately. Wait till you see what's coming back from, Black Bear Custom Kydex. Very nice. Something for one of those big tiger sharks, no doubt. Kevin Moore says, thanks for the kindness. By the way, have I mentioned that I have received my quirky and beautiful Spyderco bombshell, aka Danger Pickle? It is absolutely the coolest of my collection. It's 800 of 1250. That's cool that you got a round number like 800. That thing is cool. Danger Pickle is the name given to it by Bearded Gear, I believe, and that is a birch tree design. Is that right? Who's that? Let me know. Is that Birch Tree Blade Designs? Who made that? Who designed that? Danger Pickle. I love that. Very cool knife that is. And congratulations on your score. I know it's nice when you find something finally at long last. I am wanting a SOG Terminus XR or Flash. Weston, check out Only SOG. But also they have, you can get those knives in particular elsewhere, but if you want the old flash, which it was a sweet knife, I actually really like the old flash. The new flash is cool too, but totally different. That can be had on that website. Also, I have an old Tomcat or Wildcat backlock from early 90s, 1991. And I found that on that website too. Very cool. Have a Knife Day says, no, actually, but 2 other discontinued SOGs. Ooh, oh, okay. So I love just the straight up Bowie, the Mac V SOG. I have the Super Bowie at 7.5-inch blade length, but you can get a lot of old used ones there, which I'd like to get with the 6-inch blade, the original. Robert Douglas, good to have you here, Robert. I like the finish on that. Wonder if the same finish is same as the one of their Outlaws from Cold Steel. Outlaws. What are you talking about? Outlaws. I like the finish on that. Wonder if same finish is same as one of their Outlaws from Cold Steel. I'm not sure. It is a cool finish, but something no doubt that that the folks at Windlass in India have. I don't. It almost looks like blued. It almost looks like bluing, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. This is, I think, 1075 Super Bowie. Love it. Have one too. So, Knife Day, how did yours come? Mine is, it'll cut paper, but I stropped it, and actually, I haven't tested it since I stropped it, but it really responded to the strop just in how it feels. So I'm looking forward to seeing if I can just, run this over the ceramic rods a few times and get it super sharp. Michael Birch, that's what it is. Michael Birch is the designer of the Bombshell. That is a very cool knife and nice, very useful sort of blade. I'm not sure if you're hearing the ladies in the next room, but they're having a little party. The Bark River Mac V has always been on my list. Oh, that I saw someone selling the Bark River Mac V that had like 2 or 3 on Blade Forums like a year ago or something, and I just was not in a state to buy one. But I just to see them on offer, I was like, oh, what can I do? And then that's a lot of chess pieces to move, and someone snagged them. I think the same person bought all 3. The Tiger Shark's leather sheaths actually sit well while wearing an untucked. Oh, really? Interesting. The Tiger Shark leather sheaths are beautiful. I was looking at them. That's what I would opt for, no doubt. And the full guard. I didn't realize they made 2 different versions of or that they had the Quillians, the full guard, and then they also had the single guard. You know, just on the lower side, on the down bottom side. All right, so for you guys out there who are strictly folder guys and gals, like the fidgeters, the people who love the drop shut and the this kind of thing, what fixed blades are you willing to consider? And this is a question I ask because, well, lately it's been all daggers and Bowies, mostly Bowies. Though I had to get a couple of daggers because they were available at the time for very good prices. But that's the question. What fixed blade knives are you willing to entertain if you're just a folder guy? That is interesting to me because I kind of look at this through that lens as weapon collector and that kind of thing. And so I'm just curious. Let me know about that. And let me show you this. This is pretty sweet. Another Hero Sticks. Let me put this very sweet Bowie away. So Hero in his box sent me some exotics, and then he sent me some exotic EDCs, everyday knives. And look at this. This thing is sweet. I love the Sage series. This is the Sage 5. So the Sage series from Spyderco. Sage meaning wise man, wise men of the knife world. So Sage 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 were homages, honor. Is that right? Homage. homages to the people who had invented various locks. You had Michael Walker with the liner lock. That was the Spyderco Sage 1. The Sage 2 was, I believe that was this one. And Chris Reeve with the integral lock. And then you had the back lock and the the ball lock for Butch. What was his name? Blackie Collins, I believe. And then the compression lock, the Sage 5. A few years later, they're like, okay, now that people are used to it, we can call ourselves sages. We can call ourselves wise men of the knife world. And it's very well warranted. This compression lock is incredible. And this M4 steel, by the way, is also incredible. So this is a Blade HQ exclusive. Bob, good evening, sir, says On the Edge 72. It's good to have you here, man. How you doing? What were you carrying today? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. Actually, if anyone out there has not let me know what they were carrying today, please let me know. This is how I discover new things that I should go out and get. Like this. Oh, this feels great. I was wondering how the lightweight version would feel as compared to this. I've always loved this titanium one. I got this in 2014, Christmas of 2014. My wife got that for me. I remember this clearly because just a week before my daughter was born, my second daughter was born. And so my wife was exhausted and she's like, what do you want for Christmas? Just send me a link. And I was like, okay. And I sent her a link to this. And it was, she spent the money on it. It was like $187. And I was like, she's going to balk at that. She's not going to go for that. For a pocket knife? But I think I was just taking advantage of her state, her exhaustion, and exasperation at the world in general. And man, look at that knife that I scored. Let's have more kids, baby. No, love to have more kids, but not in the cards. So M4, I used to think that it was my favorite steel, but that was based on very little. It came on a couple of my favorite knives. The Contigo was one of my favorite knives to use. That steel was just awesome on the Contigo. I know Shane loves his Contigo. I had a little bit of issue with the 2-finger partitioning on the Contigo, but basically, I loved the knife. Though recently I've been thinking the Rift. The Rift is the perfect compromise between it's the perfect compromise in that 3-knife lineup of the 940, or I'm sorry, the 940 to the Rift to the Contigo. Discuss. Well, what do you think? Carried my Umnums on once today. Been pretty consistent with CRK lately. Oh, nice. Why is that on the edge? Is it just a little stage you're going through, or are you finding that for the kind of work you need the knife for, it happens to be excelling? And that way we will be able to tell what kind of a knife guy you are. Are you a collector or are you a hard user? And Javier Villalobos says the Tai Chung DLC is so cool. I wish they made the PM2 look like that. I know this is cool. I'm just sort of looking at it under the light, and it looks like the DLC on my Three River Knives Atom. It's like sometimes you can't even tell that it's black. It looks like it's silver. Yeah, very, very cool. It would be neat if they did that with the PM2. I just said neat. Robert Douglas said, I like any fixed blade for bears when outdoors. Not that I would stand a chance, but makes you feel better, perhaps, when salmon fishing. No doubt, man. No doubt. Look at it. You don't think that this would... okay, the bear might kill you, but you're going to kill the bear. That's the idea. I mean, that's the idea with anything like that. You might injure me, but I'm going to kill you, bear. You're going down. But yeah, this long, slender blade. People used to hunt, and people still hunt pigs with blades. People used to hunt with blades much more. You can find cool hunting swords and blades at many a fine art museum. The Cleveland Art Museum has an amazing sword and armor collection. and ancient Asian art collection, by the way. But also, so does the Met in New York. You can go there and look at knives for days and swords. So beautiful. And there they have these old hunting swords and knives. Pretty cool. Wilby, I've always felt that the blade on the 940 is too slim. I love the Rift. I'm with you, Wilby. I think that it's too slim, and that leads to a wedge-like geometry. Now with the Contigo, it's a broader blade, still thin stock. That by the time it gets to the edge, you can see the cutting edge itself is very thin. It gets really thin behind the edge on that knife. Such a good cutter is the Contigo. Will B says, as for fixed blades, I'm really wanting a Warncliffe. Oh, yeah. A Watchman knife and tool has a nice one I'm eyeing. I met those guys up at River's Edge Cutlery at the grand opening in August. Oh, cool. I introduced myself to them over at Blade Show, and at some point he will be coming on the show. I look forward to that. Boar spears, etc., says Robert Douglas. Yeah, the boar spears with the flanges, so the boar doesn't use his weight and momentum to slide down the shaft and still mess up your world. Shredder says, has anyone bought a Rosecraft blades before? LOL. We watched a review and bought 2 this morning. Cool. Which one did you get? Let me know. I know that Scab has been showing off that really cool Warncliffe one. I would not mind getting my hands on that. Some of their designs, I must be honest, seem a little awkward. Like the sway back with the choil. I don't know. But hey, I like that they're doing new stuff. I want to talk to Swags. I want to have her on the show. I invited her, and one of her people said she'd get back to me. That'd be cool. I'd love to talk to her about her designs, but also starting this and being a part of Rosecraft. I mean, you can tell from the fonts in the marketing and the photography and stuff, you can see what the affiliations are, what the company affiliations are. And it's interesting. I want to find out more. But let us know once you get first of all, which one did you get? And second of all, what do you think of it when it shows up? I should get one too. Maybe that one that Scab's been showing off. Yeah. So Jim just put up this lower third. October's Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway is October 20th. We always go to the 3rd October. This month it will be on the 20th. What will it be? I don't know. I think I will have decided by next week. Maybe we'll do a fixed blade. Who knows? But I will decide by next week. And if it's interesting and you can afford it, you got the extra scratch, or you think it's valuable, go to Patreon and sign up. A few of those Rosecraft blades look great. Glad to see a new brand out there. Yep. And they were such a huge contributor to the experience at Blade Show this year. That's also good. They're good. What do we say? Good public citizens, good community citizens. I like that. Blade Ogre says, I bought the Rosecraft swayback with the bourbon bone this week. I do like the bourbon bone. Did you get the thing itself? I am curious. Something about that. It's the choil. I know what's about that. The choil throws me off, I got to say. I carried the M21-14 SFG Veft. So what is that? M21-14 SFG Veft. Well, I know what the Veft part is, but what knife is that? M21 makes it feel like it's something military, but I don't know. That was a total guess. On the Edge says, I have explored high and low with all the offerings. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start again. I have explored high and low with all the offerings that the knife world has to give, and have come up with the conclusion that I like titanium, hollow, slow roll, USA made, and CRKT checks all of those boxes. Amen, brother. I love it. I like all of those things too. I like all of those things too. And all together is great. Like I have a couple, looking at my American hard use knives that I put on the same shelf as Chris Reeve knives. And for me, Hinderers have never been slow rollers. Even the old detent, you need a little assist with the flipper tab. Everything now seems to have bearings in it, or so much seems to have bearings in it. Here's a good one. This might also check the boxes for you. To me, this is the slow roll is a little difficult on this one for me. But this checks those boxes pretty well. You might want to check out, if you don't have one, a Spartan Hersey. The Shredder knife review, Shredder guys say the Pocket Monster and the Mohawk. It was hard to buy only two. I feel you. Which one is that? Oh, the Monster. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, that's cool. But again, big choil. That choil's too big, in my humble opinion. That's a Swags design. She has a definite style. I got to say, my favorite of her designs thus far is that swayback she made. Oh, man, with Kaiser. That was cool. With the button lock. Beautiful. And I swear to God, I ordered one of those years ago from Blade HQ, and it never showed up. I think. Anyway. Have a Knife Day says, I've ordered my first Medford, a Praetorian, all black. Just waiting for it to be made. That is one chunky hell of a knife. All black Praetorian. I think the Praetorian is a great first Medford to get. I got rid of my Praetorian, and sometimes, but not often, I regret it. It just was not one that I carried. I just never, even though it was pretty carryable, the version I had was pretty thin, and it was the G10 top, but it was just such I just didn't carry it much, and I had a lot of money in it, and I was like, oh, maybe I should sell it and spend that money on something I'll carry. Christoph says, but all that is to say, have a knife day. I hope they get to it soon, because I know what that Jones must be like. So look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. Christoph Wilhelm says, I'm interested to hear what everyone's edge looks like on their RC swayback. Mine looks like there was a banana peel in front of the grinder. Oh, man. Okay. All right. So you have a Rosecraft swayback, and the edge looks like Dookie. Everyone who has one, chime in. Let's hear what everyone is saying. Chris says, yes, the Clinch River swayback. The choil does throw off some, but love swaybacks and that bourbon bone. Yeah, I too love swaybacks, and that bourbon bone does look nice. I do like bone covers on knives. The choil is too big. That's what she said. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Right after I was about to say I love bone, but what I was going to say is bone on knives is great. She's thick. Says, have a nice day. Well, the so you got the full tie. That's a chunker. Yeah, it will be cool to have. I have no Medfords in my collection now, except for a Gentleman Jack, which is admittedly an awesome knife, but it's not one of his door breaching knives. And the action on it, the pull is very light on that knife. So not the best slip joint out there. So I want to talk a little bit about the Spyderco reveal. I had this out. Oh, yes, I'm agreeing with that DLC. It looks so sweet. Had this out. Spyderco just did their 11, their reveal number 11. And at this point, I don't even know if there's like carryover from year to year. And this is reveal 11 since they started doing reveals, or if this is reveal 11 for the whole year. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this reveal thing is working out so well. Maybe it is. I guess they wouldn't be sticking with it. But I got to say, I was really hoping that they would be revealing the military too, which has taken so darn long to just exist in the first place. Here's a cool one right here. That one, the Little Native Warnie. A lot of people love the Native. A lot of people love the Native Chief. And then they came out with the Little Native. And no doubt people dig that too. It's got the compression lock and, all those things you love about Spyderco, the most fidgety of Spyderco knives. and it's got a Wharncliffe. Yes, kind of an awkward Wharncliffe, but a Wharncliffe nonetheless. Not everything is about looks on knives. Sometimes you have to think about performance and cutting. And this, no doubt, is a very nicely thin, full flat ground blade. And you do have that point down at the bottom so that you get good utility cuts out of it. A little temperance, lightweight. I do like the little temperance. That's a cool little knife. Any little knife like this, you add those Spidey serrations and you're good to go. You'll be unzipping whatever you want to unzip. And now the next in their budget lightweight line is the Ambitious, which, is the small brother of the Tenacious. This is the dressed up version in the lightweight S35VN. Very cool. And then here's the Stretch XL. This is a pretty sweet looking, I got to say. As it goes, it's pretty big. And you got the nice gray G10 Stretch 2 XL. That's crew wear, ladies and gentlemen. I only have one crew wear knife, but man alive, is it sweet. So you want that in a folder, it can be had with the 2XL. Right there, that Stretch 2XL. I'm used to hearing 2XL on Spyderco knives. Of course, the Stretch, the 2 is referring to the fact that this is the second iteration of the Stretch, and then this is the XL. They're not saying 2XL like this is double large. Just in case, not to mansplain, but that's what I've gleaned out of it. So Spyderco reveal. Have a knife day. Yes, it's full tie. Yeah, I could tell, especially when you described it as thick. Tip up carry Spyderco military. I have 2 modded for tip up carry, and they're fantastic. Yeah, well, this tip up military is also going to have the compression lock, and I must admit I'm looking forward to having the compression lock with that beautiful 4-inch blade that's going to sail in and out. Robert Douglas says, I've been lucky and picked up a military style blade, a Salis in N690 from Italy. For a song, right place at the right time, offered to me, very reasonable. That Salis, that is Combative Edge, right? I believe Combative Edge. That is a knife made in Italy for Combative Edge, which is an American company. It's a Tanto, nice big choil, and that thing made by Fox, I believe, right? Weston Probst. SOG only is a ready-made rabbit hole. Thanks. Yeah, go for it. Need a fixed blade? Get a MacV SOG right there. Getting stuffy. I don't know. Maybe I dehydrate myself with all the coffee at night. Maybe that's what it is. Well, let's find out. Okay, so you got a Buck 112? I got one right here. I do love the Buck 112. Let me put this under the knife cam. So the Buck 112 is the little brother to the Buck 110. Everyone knows this. They call this the Ranger. And I think that's because it's smaller. And if you're out ranging, you need something a little bit smaller. Anyway, they have the new Buck of the Month announced, and it's a blacked out Ranger Sport, and it looks so cool. I love this size and style. I love this knife in particular. But it is heavy. I never carry it. It's a great desk knife, and I have the little quick stud on it, but it doesn't get used. Look at this. I mean, it doesn't get carried. This is the new sport version, totally ambidextrous, 112 Ranger, all blacked out. I think this thing looks sweet. And finally, Buck got the clip right. I don't mean finally. I know they make a lot of knives with clips, but this one on the 110 looks good. They used to have the one with the anvil kind of carved into it and just wasn't doing it. But this looks great. And it's got an adjustable pivot. It's got a thumb stud. What's the steel on this? Can you go wide on that, Jim? I can't remember what the steel on this was. I know they dress up the steel always for these things. For these Bucks of the Month. Oh, maybe they didn't list it. S35, I thought. Oh, S30. Okay, S30V. once was a super steel. Now it's like still in its superhero leotard, but it's got a big belly, and it's really sort of bitter and argumentative, but still can get the job done if need be. Is S30B. So sad when blade steels go out of style. Oh, it's so sad. All right, so that is the buck of the month. This month being the coming month of October, the blacked out Ranger Sport. Just picked up a buck 124 Frontiersman. That's a cool knife. Frontier seems to be the theme, but that is a cool knife. It's a straight back. I do like that one. The blacked out version looks amazing, says Weston. I would agree with you. Oh, you know what? This is something other people always suggest, but I'm going to say it right now. If you're still here and you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. I know you've commented and I do appreciate it, but that also helps. So thank you. Appreciate it. Whoa, that blackout is sick. Yeah, I agree, man. The 110, 112 platform is so handsome. It's such a good looking platform, such a classic thing to riff on. And I think they're doing a very good job on it. It's about time. I kind of wish that they would figure out a way to make a buck 110 or a buck 112 look the same, have the same dress with wood and brass. Who knows? Maybe it's anodized titanium to keep it light, but I wish they would figure out a way to make this knife actually pocketable, but have it look like this, not have it look like the Sport, not have, but have it look like the old traditional one like this and with the same blade shape. You'll notice that with a lot of the updated versions of the 110 and the 112, like the Sport the other ones that came out over the past few years, they straightened out the clip. It doesn't have that nice shape, and they sort of generified the clip point blade, I think. So bad buck. Don't do that, Buck. Bowie knife of the moment. I just looked over and saw this. So now that I have this table here, this is a work table. It is very sturdy, very solid, and my camera won't shake anymore. I love that. It only took me like 400 episodes to get it. But anyway, this used to be on my old desk. This was on one leg over here, and then my RTAC 2 was on the other leg. Two big knives, just in case, anyone busts into the man cave while it's all going down. I can pull this out and, born and bred for combat, I would take care of them with this. And that's the knife, not me, born and bred for combat, that is. So I would use this, but now this new table does not afford me the ability to do that. I'm going to have to figure it out, though, because every table that I spend any time at, like my desk at work or this table or the kitchen table, always has a knife on it. But I always have some sort of knife stashed under the surface or on the legs. It helps. It helps to have a knife close by. At work, everyone knows that if they have to cut an apple or something, they need a sharp knife, not like the ones that are in the kitchen. They can just reach under my desk and there it is. And I've trained them to the point where they don't even think it's weird that I keep a knife attached to the underside of my desk. Don't you? Does anyone out there? Am I the only one? I know I'm not the only one who has a shower knife. Is there anyone else out there with a desk knife, like a hidden knife under the desk or something of the sort? On the Edge 72 says, I have a pocket sheath for my buck 110. It's awesome. I picked it up on Etsy. You get to choose the leather and the thread color. Ooh, that's nice. That's a good idea too. And just use it in as a pocket slip situation. I have a couple of the Hunter LTs, and they aren't the same as the regular. Oh, yes, 110 and 112. Yeah, they're not the same in a lot of ways. In the obvious ways, the lightweight nature and the materials, but also the way they changed that classic perfect blade. The 110 is a perfect blade. The 112 is a perfect blade, and they somehow snatched defeat from the jaws of victory in that case. Robert Douglas says, great idea. Lighter blades keep my pants up, man. Yeah, no kidding. V44. This is the Western 49, the W49, which was the eventual evolution of the V44. And it this was made by a number of different makers. I knew the history of this particular model, and now I have to relearn it. But I do know that this is an evolution of that knife. Gaston Garcia, good to have you here, Gaston. Not hidden. My desk is overflowing with knives. Yes. At work, it can't be, so I do have to have mine hidden there. But if this one doesn't work, there are others. Always have industrial desks instead of kitchen table. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, it's also like this thing. Yeah, I'm digging it. I work in manufacturing and operate a machine. No desk. That's why I'm weighed down with so much pocket metal. Very nice. Very nice. What kind of machine? I'm curious. Is it a blade making machine by chance? Yep, there it is. Love this thing. All right. Pop this in its sheath, put it over here, and then so because I was talking about Boker before, I pulled this out. So in speaking with Chaz Fisher of Boker, I gained a lot of knowledge about the company. I had no idea, A, how old they were, and B, how long they had been an international knife company. God, the action on this, dangerous. But very fun to talk to him. He was a great guy. Bumped into him a bunch of times at Blade Show, introduced myself to him there, and that's how he came on the show. But he sent me a very nice email afterward. I thanked him for his time. He sent me an email that was great. Had a great time. And he said, so are there any Bokers you have a hankering for? And this was one of those moments where I was like, oh boy, because yes, of course there are many actually. More than I even knew. So I went to the website. I was like, oh, yes, there are a couple of Bokers I'm interested in. And I went and I was looking at, and I have expensive taste, people. Boker has some knives that are up there in price, some special knives and stuff. And I was like, I cannot ask him for this. So Boker Smatch It. Yes, sir. Designed by Chuck Kadritis. So what I did get, listen to me. What I said was, it's very nice. I don't want to make any assumptions. He said, do you have a hankering? Oh, yes, I do have a hankering for. And I told him that I really like the Urban Texas toothpick. The Urban Trapper? Well, they have a knife just like that coming out, but it's got that long, let's see, do I have a toothpick here? Yeah, it's got this kind of long blade. Actually, it looks different from this toothpick. Hang on. All right, I have a little mini toothpick here, and it's over there. I can't bring it out, but it's got a long, slender. You'll know it when you see it. It looks like a California clip blade or the kind of clip point blade that you see on a mongoose style knife or a moose style knife, and long, thin, and very stylish, and in Cocobolo. So I believe he's sending that to me. Like I have said recently, I am starting to really dig wood on knives. There it is. Thank you, Jim. Look at that thing. So it's got the flipper. It's got a very thin setup like the Boker Urban Trapper, but this one is the Urban Texas toothpick. And it looks just like a big flipper version of the Texas toothpick, down to the handle and everything. Beautiful knife. I'm very much looking forward to checking this thing out. That's a 3.5-inch blade, I think, 3.5 inches, which is perfect size. And that long, slender blade. I'm curious to see what it'll be like, what using it will be like. Christoph Wilhelm says the Smatch It is awesome. VG10 wouldn't stop me. It shouldn't, Christoph. Unless unless you are using your knife to cut ceramic tiles every day. You should not let VG10 stop you from any cool knife. The only thing you should, sometimes I feel like you might be getting a little bit price gouged with some knives. I don't know what this cost. This was a gift from Dave, and I do appreciate it. But sometimes it might feel like you're getting ripped off if you're paying M390 money for N690. That is the case oftentimes with some of the Italian knives, some of the European knives. They use a ton of N690. They're inexpensive ingot steel, I believe that is, but they are not very much like that with the M390. But they will charge the M390 prices. I believe that's just dealing with exchange rates and all that. Boker, I love me some Boker, but they just make too many damn knives. They just make too many of them. Down in Argentina, their Arbolito brand, oh my God, their fixed blade knives are gorgeous and priced gorgeously. They're not inexpensive. I do know, I remember that when I first was paying attention to Boker, maybe about 10 years ago, they were having the QC issues. At least that's what the knife reviewers of the time were saying. But I haven't seen it in any of the ones that I have or that I have on loan. I haven't seen any issues at all. Byron, FYI, the Boker Pocket Smatchet 4-inch VG10 was on sale at Blade HQ for $99. Check it out. That's awesome. That's awesome. It also comes in green micarta if you don't like the rosewood, but I love that rosewood. Christoph says, yeah, Bob, that's how I feel about Boker in general. Yeah. It's like, oh man, I could have any number of their knives. They make so many cool ones. It's almost like, which ones don't you want? Just send me a list of the ones you don't want. Boker and Arboris Manasherov. I don't know what that means. A Boris Boker and a Boris Manasherov. What does that mean? Let me know. Let me know what that means. Yeah, not sure. Manasherov. Anything else to show you before we wrap up? Yeah, well, actually, been loving this again. Not again, but still. If you haven't checked this out, if you haven't checked out Beyond EDC, you know that you love Dirk Pinkerton's designs. So if that will bring you over, check out Beyond EDC. This is their asymmetrical line. So this is their mid-range tier, and it is built beautifully. They have their own facility over there in China, building amazing knives. Now, a lot of the guys, David Sun and the other guys he works with, Beyond EDC, that is, they all have experience with the big manufacturers, both in China and the United States, and put their knowledge together and created Beyond EDC. And man, they have a lot of cool designs by a lot of great designers. Robert Douglas says, when I was a kid over 50 years ago, what did we talk about before Super Steels? Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster, Pet Rocks. I was there, buddy. Yeah, I don't remember any Super Steel talk. It was either surgical steel or 440. Surgical. I remember getting cheap knives as a kid and thinking, surgicals, this is what they do surgery with? Wow. I mean, this has got to be something. Manasherov is a designer out of Tel Aviv, and is a designer for Boker. Okay. Is he the guy who did the what was that really cool knife that I had here that Dave loaned me? I'll try and remember. The recurve. That one was pretty sweet. Or are these? Oh, okay. Not what I was thinking. That top one on the left. Thank you, Jim. Almost called him James, like he's in trouble. That top one on the left, I definitely recognize. Kind of cool. I like the one in the middle there. That clip point's kind of nice. Oh, yes. Okay. I recognize the karambit and the caracol. Is that the caracol? Yeah, those are cool. I do like that karambit, and I do like that caracol. That karambit was one of the first recurve tantos I ever saw. I remember. Robert says, enjoyed your channel. I will be back. Well, awesome, Robert. I look forward to it. Every week I like to show off fixed blades, and we talk about folders and all sorts of stuff. Tomahawks, tomahawks and hatchets too. Other kind of things as well. So thank you, Robert. Greatly appreciated. By the way, awesome name. Have a nice day. Check out the Masada fixed blade. I have, not in person, but I was just looking at that. Oh, I got this. I got his Masada fixed blade. Did some file work on it and Cerakote. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking of the IDF combat knife, I think it is, the Israeli Defense Force combat knife. It's cool. It reminds me a little bit of a Randall number 14 attack with the finger grooves and the Bowie blade, clip point blade. Have a knife day says, oh, I already read that. Did some firework and had it Cerakoted. Very nice. All right. Well, I think for tomorrow, I'm looking around here and I'm like, what am I going to carry tomorrow? I think it will be this. This got a whole lot of love last summer when I got it. And then I must admit, I've not been carrying it much recently. And it's not out of any love lost. It's just that, I don't know. Well, new ones come. You always got to carry the new ones. And I think maybe because we're coming out of summer, and this summer I was kind of dead set on carrying lighter stuff. I didn't not carry many heavier knives, even to work where I'm expected to wear pants. Didn't really indulge in too many heavy blades this summer. But yeah, I think this will be my carry tomorrow, Friday. This is a Good Friday carry. Not Good Friday carry, but this is a Good Friday carry. And yeah, I think I'll do this. And maybe I'll stick with the red theme and carry the Begleiter XL in red linen micarta, just for a little emotional support and for flippiness. I mean, these two go well together because yeah, they're just crazy addictive action. Have a Knife Day says, I really want a Randall. I think you need to get one. I think you could sell a couple of your knives and get one. And you're like, mind your own business. I'm not selling my knives. I'm just getting one. But my point is, Randalls are expensive, but don't let it hold you back. It's worth it. Even if you have to sell some, is what I meant. I really want a Randall. He says, I was talking to an SF Vietnam vet at the VA, and he had a Randall. Should have asked to interview him and his knife if he still had it. Oh, that'd be cool. And I'd love to know what model. I'm sure he had the model. Well, who knows? He could have had the Model 1. He could have had any model, naturally, but likely the 1 or the 2, the 14, or the what's the one that has a really big swedge? Can't remember what that one. No, my knife baby says have a knife day. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it's like Sigmund Freud says, the good mother, and we'll widen this out to parent. The good parent fails ultimately because you cannot protect your child forever. You have to send them out into the world. So it's kind of the same with your knives. The good owner fails because if you send it out into the world, it might get used in a different and more complete way, and you will forget about it, and you will have your new thing, and you will only have these little pangs of regret every once in a while, but you can stuff those down with the other emotions that you stuff down, and carry on like that until the end. On the Edge 72 says, is it just me, or does it feel like dealers are oversaturated with in-stock products and secondary market? That's interesting. Just an observation lately. Yes. I hadn't really noticed the dealer saturate or oversaturation, but now that you mention it, I can totally see that. But I have noticed the secondary market cooling down, and Well, let's think about what this could be. This could be inflation. So people aren't buying as many knives, so the knives are staying at the purveyors longer, and so it seems like they're oversaturated, and they're also not buying from people on the secondary market, so those knives aren't selling, and so people are keeping them, and yes, I have noticed it, and it's in the search for things that I keep thinking should be readily available. Like, I should be able to find a used Natchez Bowie. I don't know why I feel like I should be, um, but who knows? Maybe others, maybe also people are holding on to stuff. Maybe also people don't know that they can sell knives. A lot of times, you know, I'm sure there are knife enthusiasts out there who might watch YouTube videos, but are not part of any of this, who are like, oh, you can resell your knife? Who would have thought, So I don't know. I have seen that cooling, and it's affecting me personally. And dagnabbit, now I'm going to do something about it. Just kidding. What can you do about inflation? I know I don't know. I also know some other people don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I am not ending on that note. So let us review for the evening. I did get the Spyderco. I did get the Cold Steel 1917 Frontier Bowie, and I'm just trying to figure out another excuse to draw it again and show it. Oh, and there goes my camera again. I'm not going to try and redo the knife cam. I am just going to stick with this one because I'm about out anyway. So something about this knife I really appreciate. Besides that weirdly placed finger choil, it seems like that should be down and that this little part shouldn't exist. But I love this long and asymmetrical S-guard and weirdly blocky handle. It feels great, and that S-guard is awesome. That really is going to protect you if you're having a knife-to-knife duel. Robert Douglas says, knives are like collecting guitars and stuff. Just have to. Yeah, collecting guitars. Yeah, my brother collects guitars. Have a knife day. Supposedly, when I pass my knives, will be given to someone to whom I was a big brother to since he joined the army. Oh, that's cool. He does poaching interdiction. Oh, cool. He wants to give the fixed blades to Africa. How cool is that? You know that the Tops knife, which one is it? The Silent Hero was designed by an anti-poacher interdictionist operator. Anyone handle the Luft Concepts Avant? Yes. Hey, Anthony 23 Riv, good to have you here, sir. Yes, I had that in my possession for a little while, a prototype, and it was awesome. And then got a chance to check out the production versions of them at Blade Show, and they made some improvements. So if you like really thin hollow ground cutting knives and you like the way it looks, you will love the knife. It's awesome. So highly recommend it. Byron Kennedy says, junkies need to bow out. Thanks, Bob, Jim. Good night, junkies, and have a great weekend. Well, I too, Byron, will be bowing out shortly. Thank you, sir. It was great to have you, as always. Byron, thank you for your comments and all the rest. Good to have you with us tonight, sir. Blade Ogre, great show. Night, everybody, says Chris. Blade Ogre, great to have you here, sir. Take care of those knives, and we'll see you here next week. Inflation? There's no inflation. Precious metals, cryptos? Yeah. Well, I don't know about cryptos, but precious metals. Yeah, I do believe in precious metals for sure. And knives. You know what? If you have a big stockpile of knives, who knows? Maybe someday in the future they come in handy for bartering. I'll give you this Bowie for that cow, or I'll give you this Bowie for that I don't know, Edsel or whatever pre-chip car you have. I don't know. So that's about it for me tonight. I want to thank you for joining and chatting. It's always a pleasure. It is a favorite time of the week. I love Thursday night. I love coming on and waxing poetic with y'all. Happy to hear a titanium pre-order drop is coming up from them. Going to try and snag one. Anthony, you will not be sorry you did. The blade is amazing. It's probably one of the thinnest hollow ground blades I've ever. It feels like a straight razor. Have a knife day says, have a knife night. Have a knife night to you, sir. Keep making those videos. Great live, Bob and Jim. Well, thank you, Will. Great to have you here as always, man. Never Enough Knives 007 says, have a knife weekend, junkies. That's right. Junkies have an awesome weekend. I love the weekend. I love it. The older I get, the more I like the weekend. Even Sundays. I used to hate Sundays because it meant Monday was the next day. Now, Sunday fun day. I just don't care. I'm going to live for the moment. Live for the weekend. Like Loverboy said, working for the weekend. All right. That's it for me and Jim. Working his magic behind the switcher. I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, please don't take dull for an answer.